Needless to say, pop music has been heavily influenced.
I mean, let's go back to one of the greatest artists of all time, Elvis Presley.
That's right.
I mean, his influence, his whole foundation is built off of gospel music.
That's right.
And what he heard.
And he would say it.
Yeah.
Were he here.
Yeah.
And if he was here, we could make a bunch of money.
You're right about that.
You are listening to Imagine, Create, Inspire, the podcast. Join host Bruce Andrews in conversations with creatives. Every artist has a story, and the struggle is real to stay inspired and in the flow. Join in the conversation by leaving us your comments, and thanks for listening.
Hey, this is Bruce Andrews. I'm the Executive Director of the Shelby County Arts Council, headquartered at Shelby County Arts Center here at Old Mill Square in Columbiana, Alabama. And I'm here with my friend Charles King, and we are collaborating together to bring you something special called the Gospel Showcase on June 11th, 2022 at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it opens up. Tell them about it, Charles.
So it opens up at 4 o'clock with a small reception where we can see the art exhibit that you guys have up at that point in time. And then we're going to promptly start the show at 5 o'clock. And we're going to bring you some local talent, James Peoples and New Creation, and the Anointed Posey singers. And I know they'll put on a great show.
Hold on a minute now, just because you know, you and I love gospel music, and you know, so tell the folks a little bit about James Peoples.
So James Peoples, he's a local talent. He grew up in Briarfield, Alabama. He put the group together, I think, in the last part of 2021, and they've been performing together ever since. They are excited. I've been talking to James quite frequently. He can't wait to showcase what he can do.
James Peoples and is it People or Peoples?
Peoples.
Peoples.
James Peoples and New Creation.
New Creation. N-U, Creation. So also the Posey sisters.
The Anointed Posey singers.
I have a problem with that because I always want to say Pointer sisters.
Now, the Anointed Posey singers. Now, let me tell you about the Anointed Posey singers.
Yeah, right on.
Because not only are they Shelby County born, they've been singing together for 40 years.
Unbelievable.
They were started by their mother, Willadine Posey.
Yeah.
Since then, they brought in the other members. The current members are three sisters. I call them three sisters. And then they have their son as the local drummer. So they put on an unbelievable show, and just recently they won. They were inducted into the Central Alabama Hall of Fame.
The Central Alabama Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Is it for music alone or
for music alone?
Yeah.
I mean, they are well renowned throughout the South. You know, they are humble and they are so powerful in what they do.
So this is a show open to the public, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
And you and I have talked about it. I mean, you might see shows like this in churches. You might see them in the grounds of a beautiful church service or a worship service. We're trying to make this like a high-level listening experience.
Right. And I'll tell you what prompted this idea, and I have to tell on myself a little bit. When I was a kid, we used to have, or the organization that I'm a part of, being a Freemason, and I am over Most Worshipful King Solomon Grand Lodge, Aged Free and Accepted of Alabama, and the Daughters of the Universal Chapter Order of the Eastern Star. Now, what we used to have in June is what we call St. John's Day. Mm-hmm. And so St. John's Day usually consisted of all of the lodges coming together, and you go through and you go to church, and you have the traditional church service, and they talk about our two patron saints, St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist. However, years gone by, I noticed that those services have become kind of a non-factor. And, you and I, we talked about it just in some of our private conversations where, churches have changed, the way people go to church, the way people want to receive the message, so to speak, I think is a good way to, for lack of a better word. So I want to give them something different,
Right.
versus that traditional St. John service where you go in and all you see are the Eastern Star Sisters or the Masonic Brothers. I want to open up something to the public, and I want the public to see who we are as an organization, and I want to give them an experience of worship and also benefit not only our organization and our scholarship fund that we offer, but also the Shelby County Arts Center.
Thank you, brother. And so at the end of the day, this is a collaborative effort, and it's so if you're sitting here listening to Charles and I, and you're having to rewind it to pick up on everything all the details that we're saying, I mean, really all you need to remember is that this is going to enrich you.
Yes.
I mean, so if you're just curious about gospel music,
Yes.
it'd be a great thing to come to, wouldn't it?
James Peoples, he's a minister. He ministers through music.
Yeah.
So, he wants to deliver a powerful message. And like I said before, the Anointed Posey singers, there's a reason that they have Anointed in their name.
Right.
So, they're coming to deliver a message. And I will tell you, I've heard the Posey singers all my life, and it's nothing like them.
I hear you, man. And you, like I said, so it's open to find out about your organization. It's open as a community builder, and at gut level, it's just going to be an entertaining show.
Yeah, we're gonna go out, fellowship. One of the principles of our organization this year is unity.
Right.
And, unifying not only within the organization, but unifying us with the community. Getting back in touch with our roots, so to speak. And establishing a new foundation. And our theme is building a bridge, so to speak.
I like it.
So, what goes into building a bridge, you have you have the planning phase and all of that, but then you have that foundation. So we're at that foundation level because you can't grow or you can't get to the other side unless you have a solid foundation. So that's what we're looking to establish with a partnership with the Shelby County Arts Center, as well as inviting people and opening them up to the new way of doing things.
Yeah, and of course our interest, some might say from my side of the board, let's just say my board of directors, we're a nonprofit, might say, well, what exactly is the Arts Council's role in this? Well, this is the arts.
Yes.
I mean, the arts are as diverse as a tapestry, and this is the arts, man. I mean, gospel music, like I guess I think Thomas Dorsey was born in 1899. And so then, so if anybody knows anything about gospel music at all, or if you don't, then Google that name. Everybody out there do it. Yeah. And so, Thomas Dorsey, I think, worked famously with Mahalia Jackson. And so, if folks don't know another gospel song, they might know "Precious Lord, Take My Hand," which is one of her classics. And I think he wrote it in when he was in dire straits of sorts. And so it's a part of American music history. So, I mean, if you are into American music history like I am, blues, jazz, and derivatives of all kinds of American music, you'll hear it when you come to this show.
Yeah, and really and truly, gospel music is a foundation for a lot of the music today.
Yeah.
So, you're speaking of the history. Gospel music is that foundation.
That's right.
For a lot of things.
That's right. And, people would typically say, if they're sitting here looking at you and I talking, they might say, well, that's just an influence for black gospel. I'm like, nah, not so much. If you listen to hymns in the church, man, if you know what you're talking about, you Baptists out there, y'all been influenced heavily by Thomas Dorsey and all that movement in that direction. It's and of course, needless to say, pop music has been heavily influenced.
I mean, let's go back to one of the greatest artists of all time, Elvis Presley.
That's right.
I mean, his influence, his whole foundation is built off of gospel music.
That's right.
And what he heard.
And he would say it.
Yeah.
Were he here.
Yeah.
And if he was here, we could make a bunch of money.
You're right about that.
Yeah. So I think that folks, if they're curious about gospel, I think this thing's going to sell out really quick. But so get your tickets. But if folks were just interested in soulful music that's authentic, you know, a lot of times I hear a lot of talk. I know a lot of people that are into roots music. You know, like they want to know the roots of American music, and that's laudable, and you should want to know. But if you want to hear some of the real deal,
right.
like the Posey sisters, 40 years.
40 years. That's Alabama history. That's Shelby County history. You know, you go to any African American church in this area, I guarantee you, they know of the Posey singers.
Right.
So why not get to hear them in a full-blown concert setting, the setting that they deserve and that we owe them the honor of giving them?
That's right. You said it so well, Charles. I mean, you know, some people would say to us, well, you know, gospel music should be, you know, y'all going to do some free events and stuff. We're going to work together to sponsor some free events coming up, but we think that people pay $20, $30, $40, $50 all the time to go to well-produced shows. And I just am of the mindset that these artists that we're going to put on the stage, they've paid their dues. They're worthy of a full production, high level, put them in a picture frame. They can tell all the stories they want to, and sound high fidelity sound, and it's just going to be a great experience. It's going to be a proof of concept for us,
right?
And we'll do some more.
Oh, most definitely. And you know, part of the reason that we wanted to do this is that, you know, we understand the impact of the arts and what it has done for the African American community. You know, I've told you my personal stories of, you know, having an autistic son and how music has helped him develop and how it has opened doors for him. You know, we in the African American community, and I'm just going to be straightforward, we rely on sports or we rely on so many other things. But arts is another avenue for us to explore. There are scholarships available. There are other attainable dreams by using God's given talent.
Right.
And so we have to learn to tap into all that talent, not just the athletic talent. But, I mean, a young kid that can draw, we need to nurture that. A young kid that is interested in playing an instrument, we need to nurture that.
Right.
And what better partnership than with the Shelby County Arts Center? When you took me on a tour of the Arts Center, it blew my mind to see the things that you have here and how it can open the African American community to a whole new experience.
Well, man, I'm glad that we met, and you know, it's just funny that we were geographically so close, and it took us this long to actually meet. You know, I always articulate our motto, our credo. You know, 3 words in a very deliberate sequential order: imagine, create, and inspire. Imagination leads to creation. Creation leads to inspiration, and inspiration, when you apply it, produces hope.
That's right.
So, you know, both of us agree on that, and it's common ground. And so the opposite of imagination might be stagnation and that sort of thing, dead end thinking. So I think when we open people's minds up to the idea that God has endowed us all with the same hard drive.
That's right.
You know,
right.
And if you can engage your imagination, it can lead to awesome things.
Some beautiful things.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, everything has its start, right? I mean, the Wright brothers built their airplane in a bicycle shop. You know, Disney started his company
It goes back
in a
to the
garage,
conversation
you know?
we were having in regards to impossible. There's no such thing as impossible. There's only the thing that's not done yet.
I like it, man.
So, you know, what we're putting together, we're going to call it the thing not done yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have bigger dreams. And I appreciate you, you know, listening to my small dream and then giving me a bigger dream. You know, pairing with the Shelby County Arts Center and some of the things that you've done in your career. You know, I came to you and I openly acknowledged and said, I don't really know. But, you know, you were open enough to say, well, I do know. Let me help you with some of that. And then you said, but I don't know about this. And that's where that collaboration came from. And, you know, when we talk about what our future holds, if we can get every person that is even considering coming to this event to come with that open mind to say, you know, I want to see what else is out there in the world.
Right, man. You know, so like when you buy that $30 ticket,
Yep.
you know you're going to have a great listening experience. It's going to be like hearing them in your living room, high fidelity wise, but also know that you're supporting this concept.
Yep.
This collaborative concept.
And you're supporting someone else's dream because, I mean, the proceeds from this from this event is going to go to our scholarship fund, where we're going to give scholarships to two students. I don't know where they're going to be from. We're hoping, we're working on getting the applications out. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a table set up that we're going to say, here, take this scholarship application to a kid that you know, because we want to help the community.
Well, I'll go ahead and put you a plug in here with regard to that. I mean, you and I have structured this so that we can pay the bills and put this on, and you can pay the talent, and we'll make some profit to give to that cause. But if anybody's listening and they are interested in Charles, you're a businessman out there, and you're interested in contacting Charles about being a sponsor. If he makes some money off that sponsorship with regard to this show, that's where it'll go, right?
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. All of this money, and the way we have it set up in our organization, is that our scholarship fund is completely separated from our normal course of business. So the money that goes into that scholarship fund and the monies that we dedicate to that scholarship fund are put in that account and never to be touched except for our scholarship fund.
Right. So everybody come out on June 11th. Matter of fact, as we sit here, it's the first week of May. Actually, it's May 1st, isn't it?
Yep.
Wow. It's the first week of May, and by the end of the week, we'll have the ticket link out. So by the time you're watching this, the ticket link will be out. So hit the ticket link, see if there's any tickets left. Buy your ticket and support this effort. June 11th, doors open at 5. Doors open at 4. Show starts at 5 o'clock. So make sure you get your tickets and come and enjoy a great show. Before we adjourn from one another, and let's shift gears a little bit and give you an opportunity to talk about your other endeavors, your other organizations where you're trying to lift people up.
So, part of our work in being a Mason is, we talked about faith, hope, and charity. And, the way we look at it is that your faith can be taken from you. You can lose hope, but your charity stands long after what you do. So even after we're dead and gone, our charity will always stand. So the fact that we help someone, that's a seed that's planted, and that seed will grow. So part of that, part of what we do, and, my family and I, we've started other foundations, and we do different things to support different causes. One of the things that we have coming up, as a matter of fact, is this coming week. We have what we call GLAM, and it's called Girls Living a Moment.
GLAM.
GLAM.
Gotcha.
Where I think it's 10 girls. We're going to bring 10 girls. They're going to dress up in formal wear, and we're going to take them up to have a dinner, a 5-course dinner, and learn the 5 points at a house in Greystone. And I won't give specifics there for obvious reasons, but it gives the girls the experience of what life could be.
Yeah.
And when I say a Greystone house, we're talking the upper echelon homes and things of that nature. And the family that does it for us, they're so gracious and they're so kind, and they do so many things to really support our ministry from that standpoint. But it gives the girls a dream.
Yeah, and it looks attainable.
And it looks attainable.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, that's some of the things that we do. Other things that we do, we'll recognize women in the community, and we'll have that moment coming up. We call that Dining with Divas.
Yeah.
Some of the other programs that we're going to put together are, we're looking to try to establish some things for young boys within the area.
Right.
And just trying to pull kids out of their circumstances and let them know that dreams really do come true.
Right.
And I say myself, I'm a dream come true. Growing up in small town Montevallo, somebody believed in me.
Right on, man.
And gave me the opportunity. Sorry, getting a little emotional thinking about it. But somebody gave me that opportunity. And, now my goal is to give that opportunity back to someone and to let them know that you can do anything you want to do. It doesn't have to be sports that allows you to make it. If you work hard, all dreams are attainable. But the thing is, you have to work hard.
Yeah, man, that is so profound. I mean, I have a penchant for quotes, and one I heard the other day is that I'll get stuck on one, so I'm stuck on this one. Is that complexity is the enemy of execution, and so in other words, if you think things are too huge, and then you don't even approach it. So it takes cats like you out there going, now let me break this down for you.
Yeah.
Let me take you to Greystone, and sort of unravel that complexity for
Right,
you.
right.
And show you that it's not complex, it's sequential. You do this, then you do this, you quit doing this, you start doing this, and just the fact that it's attainable is a complete revelation.
Yeah,
to
and that's so true. And it takes an opportunity. And like I said before, someone gave me that opportunity. So, even when we first started talking through the gospel showcase, if we touch one person's heart, I consider that a success.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we have goals and we want to achieve those goals. But at the end of the day, we want to deliver a message of hope.
Right, and let's. I keep coming back with the community aspect of it. I mean, I think both of us are vested in this community, the community at large. The community that's worldwide that we're all citizens of, but more practically the community that we both live in South Shelby County, and specifically right here in Columbiana. So we both have a passion for it, building a bridge around here. And I think it'd be fun doing it if you guys come and we'll get exposed to some gospel music. When you and I were talking about our histories, I took you back to the 90s when I was with a music company, a record company, as we used to call it, the Benson Music Group. And when I was there, we had mostly contemporary Christian and Southern gospel on our label. And so at the time that I was there, they signed Malco Records. And so we, in an effort to, Mike Gazeliston from Nashville, Tennessee, he was our wise boss and mentor, and he said, "I'm gonna take y'all all to, I guess it's the Bobby Jones Gospel Hour," And so I was, because I like, soul music and historically have. I grew up with it. My parents loved it, and jazz and all that sort of thing. It wasn't that mysterious to me, but it took about 20 white dudes and and it's like a tsunami of soul hit them. They didn't know what it was. They just know they liked it. They just knew they liked it. It was just amazing. So I think about it when I think of some folks maybe coming to this show. I think you and I have identified enough people to sell it out already. But if you're randomly listening to this and you think you're interested in gospel music, it might be a mind-blowing experience for you.
And like I said, bridging that gap, opening up conversations, and starting getting to, we're at point A now, and we're in that foundational phase, but we most definitely want to get to point B. And to your point, your conversations, everything that you're saying, the stories that you're telling, that's the foundation to get to point B. Right. To get to a point to where, we can, and we've talked about some other venues and things of that nature and some future things to where we can all sit and we can enjoy life together.
That's right.
And build where, music is a universal language.
Yeah.
It has no color barriers, has no boundaries. It bonds us all.
That's right.
And so that's what we want to do. We want to bond with everyone. We want to share our message with everyone. And the best way to do that is through music.
That's right on. I couldn't have said it any better. So y'all make sure you get your tickets and connect with Charles's links will be in the description of the podcast and also at on the bottom of the YouTube video and wherever else we post it. And of course the links to the show will be there as well. But brother, it was great talking to you.
Oh, thank you so much for the time.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate everything that the Shelby County Arts Center is doing for our organization.
Yeah, man. We're back at you. We're both doing it for the community. So.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks for listening to Imagine, Create, Inspire, the podcast. For more information on the Shelby County Arts Council, please visit www.shelbycountyartscouncil.com.